Imagine knowing that a superpower exists, but
I've consistently used the Titleist driver for the past 20 plus years, and the GT model is the best ever. There is no way the GTS can be better, and that is the challenge that I set to the fitters at Woburn at the Titleist Performance Centre to see if they could give me more ball speed and more distance. Let's see if this new GTS model is in fact better than the GT.
Right guys, we're down here with John. We're down at the Titleist Performance Centre. And John, how are we going to get started? What's the process?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we've got you warmed up. We're going to hear 5 or 6 with your driver, get a baseline number as to what your GT is doing. I know you got fit for it last time you were down, so
yep.
Flipped it straight in the bag versus TSR, so loving it at the minute. So we'll get baseline as to what that's doing. Yep. You can talk me through what you like about it, what you want to see more of, if you can get anything more out of it. Then we're going to just test each model in its raw shape, so I'll just give you each one to test. You're going to hit 4, 3, 2. Yep. We'll see what they do. We'll dial in the one we think is going to work best for you, and then pretty much set you on your way.
Let's do it.
Sound good?
Oh, that's my toe ball. That's why I love it.
It's a really, really good bad one, though.
Honestly, that's why I love this driver. Literally, that can disguise.
Right out the toe and it's still in the fairway.
It just disguises the SHIT out of me. It goes miles. Landed at 250, finished at about 320. That on the fairway wood, though, is a disaster.
Does that tend to be the bad one, though?
Yeah.
If you're going to hit a bad one, it's out the toe?
That's my bad one, yeah.
Okay.
That's a bit low.
Nice hit, though. Good flight. There is a bit of wind off the right, so you're probably going to get a little more movement than normal. Nice. Yeah, really good. 167. That's good. Good numbers there. Okay. Right. Challenge accepted. I'll get you as close as I physically can.
Because what is optimal at 112 speed?
You're pretty optimal there, to be honest. Like if we look at that one there where you've hit that one and optimise it, to give you an idea, 283. So it's probably launching, and that was what I was noticing when you were hitting shots, right?
It's lower, isn't it?
It looks a little bit lower in general. So we can get the launch up a little bit and then stabilise the spin a bit. You should be able to get 283 as a bare minimum, but it'll be interesting to see if you pick up any speed going from GT to GTS.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know you've had the slide deck, but for your viewers at home, the whole tech story at the minute and what we're trying to do is create everything we've got from GT, where it's fast, it's good, it's stable, but add a load of MOI to it as well. So like having that discretionary weight, using the PMP in the way that we have done to really like allow us the dual weighting system. It just, the R&D team were like, why should it be distance or forgiveness, which is what you see trends in the industry doing. They're either chasing distance or they're chasing forgiveness. And we were like, why can't you just have both? So we kind of cracked the code from an R&D perspective on how they can add stability while keeping our CG low forward. So you keep your speed in the right place, you keep your height and launch in the right place, but then it'd be able to like personalize and create either more stability, more spin with a certain model for a player that likes to see what they're seeing. So it'd be interesting to see how you react when we do the testing stage. Obviously there's been improvements in the aerodynamics from 3 and 2. 4 is 460cc now, whereas it was a little bit smaller in GT. Reason being, MOI is better at 460, but we haven't done the same aerodynamic change in 4 that we did in 2 and 3. Reason being, that's your low spin model, and it's a TSI 3 shape, which was feedback from the tour. They wanted to see a little bit more of that shape, so for the players that are looking for that low spinning model, that's the shape that they're asking for. The MOI comes in through the sizing, and then you can dial it in with each player with that personalised back weighting system. A good one for me as a fitter as well, with the models all being 460cc, it's now more about what the head's going to do for the player rather than the size and the look Whereas you probably would have found that people liked the smaller head shape
Yeah,
in 4,
yeah.
and then wanted to go into that, even though it wasn't performing as well as it should have done. Cool. Right, drop that one out. So we're just going to go 3 in initial stages with each one, then we'll talk about what it's doing.
Launches.
Ready, see.
A mile per hour, 4 yards. Okay. Take everything I can get.
He's trying to catch up Finchy.
The problem is you've come in with the hardest driver on the planet for us to beat at the moment.
That's literally what I said when I walked in, wasn't it? So you can't beat this is the best. This is the best driver on the planet. You can't beat the GT3.
He set me 2 challenges now. He wants 170.
Nice move.
There's a 11 yard jump.
11 yard.
Yeah, there's yours at 264. That's 275 on average.
Ooh. That felt a bit better.
167.
Go!
Oh, nice. Right, bring that one out. How'd that one feel?
Very nice. Felt very good. Moonball.
Very different.
Yeah.
That
Much
launch,
higher.
Very different. Yeah, so you're averaging on most of your launches around 9, and that's gone 10.8. 278 carry.
Spin goes up.
Look at his face.
I have this thing about the 2. I don't want the 2.
What if the 2's really quick?
I've got no reason for it. Oh God.
Well, that one's probably a fraction low on the face, so you can see the spin went up a little bit and launch was a little bit lower, but it's still gone 276. So you've come in with 264, asked me for 170 ball speed, and I just gave you 277 instead.
I reckon you might. Don't do it now.
No,
at the
but
end,
like-
chase. I reckon you can get you 170.
At the end, I'll be on my knees. You
You need to put yourself
think you're talking to a 20-year-old or something?
You're fresh face there. You've got it.
I'm 40 in 2 weeks. Have I got?
What's really cool as well is the spin difference between those two was 188 revs.
It's going a lot higher, isn't it?
I love that.
Yeah, but you're used to hitting it lower just because you've played like a lot of links golf.
Definitely more loft on that face.
Yep. So launch is up. This is where it's going to get very important for people that are going to get fit for this model, not to make assumptions that you could just do 1 or 2 things, because on paper, me adding more weight back here should help you with those numbers, and it didn't. Your launch stayed the same, but your spin rate went up, which is what you kind of would expect with a back CG. But if you're doing that because you think it's going to launch higher and you buy that model, just shove a load of weight in there. The other thing you can impart is, if you start adding too much weight back, you'll get CG further back, which helps with closure rate.
Right, okay. Yeah.
So if CG comes further back with certain players and certain dynamics, you draw the ball.
Yeah.
If I shove too much weight back, you could start overdrawing it potentially, right? And vice versa, you might get players to do the opposite based on field patterns, right?
Yeah.
But the tendency tends to be the more weight you shove forward, the more right biased it becomes.
Right, yeah.
And if you're in a model that is helping, certainly was that like that in GT when you were GT 1, 2, 3 and 4 in terms of where they would start in terms of biases with certain players or in robot testing. It would be a similar thing. 4 would be wanting to start a little bit more this way. So the fact that you want it to draw and start on your target line, 3 is a good model for you.
Yeah.
2 was very, very good.
2 was good. Yeah,
it's
2
just
was
the
good,
shaping that you couldn't get over. So now with us being able to do what we can do, we can dial in a little bit more. So when you probably had a lot of players who were really wanted 3, but because of the spin factor and the flight characteristics of it, ended up in 2 for launch and spin. Whereas we can kind of dial it in a little bit more, whether it's up in loft and then mess around with the CG a little bit. You've also got the toe and heel weighting, so if you've got a player that lives in the toe a little bit and is dropping a little bit more ball speed, you can get more mass behind there. You can affect closure rate a little bit as well. So there's a lot you can do. But for me, getting you more loft in the 3 just seemed to do it easier than trying to tinker with the CG location.
Nice.
And then you've got that flight window you want, and you picked up on average there. It's a little bit less than 20 yards, but about 18 yards.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, so you got like the 2, if we show them as that. That's the differences. So white is GT,
White is my driver.
and
Before.
then that's GTS.
So in terms of shaft, then that's just kind of rinse and repeat.
Yeah, kind of. So the lineup, obviously, we had 1K black, then we had the 1K blue, and 1K. So now we've got 1K white, blue, red.
Yeah.
The white is just replacing the black. The reason being, like, players that really like the black because of the stability factor felt like at times it could be a little bit boardy.
Right.
And in the white it's just a bit smoother, still
Right.
very stable, still very stout, so when
Yeah.
you were swinging it didn't feel like
Feel
it
the
was
same, yeah.
deviating anywhere, any shape or form, but just a little bit of a smoother feel. So for transition for you, at the end of the day, shaft is, we've had that conversation where it's
Yeah.
more of a timing bout for the player, so the fact that you don't notice
Yeah.
as much of a difference in feel, but can deliver it as equally as good and get
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of jump. 5 yards is normally like, that's a really good fit from model to model.
Yes.
So the fact that you've gone from, yours you've gone almost 4 mile an hour quicker in ball speed. You've picked up a bit of club head speed. Now the argument would be here, and this I'll leave for anybody in the comment section to discuss amongst themselves. The two reasons for this, in my experience, as to why this happens. Confidence goes up because it's more stable in the model. Players tend to hit it a little bit harder. That's
Yep.
one factor.
Yeah.
It's not a case of warming up. We know you were warming. You're probably
Yeah,
more
yeah.
fatigued now than when you were hitting your GT, right?
Shattered.
So it's not necessarily that you've warmed up.
No.
But then the third one, which is a big, massive factor, was the aerodynamic package on the 3 model now. Because of the split mass and having the PMP, which only takes up 13% of the overall head weight,
Yeah.
that accounts for around about 60%
Right. Okay.
of the structure,
Yeah.
means that they can have all the weight forward and back, predominantly forward, to keep CG that way.
Yeah.
Then they can lift the boat tail up more
Yeah.
than they did in GT, which makes it more aerodynamically
Yeah.
efficient.
Yeah.
So if it's more aerodynamically efficient, and you're picking up club head speed,
kinda makes
is it
sense.
you or is it the aerodynamics?
Yeah.
Now I'll let everybody argue the
Well, yeah,
case
it
on
could
those
be.
ones.
Yeah.
But it can be a combination of both, right? You can get more confident with it. You're seeing it's more stable. It's not
Yeah.
curving as much. The spin rate's more consistent. The flight's more consistent. And you just go after
Yeah.
it a little bit more. Yes.
At the end of the day,
But
it's faster, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, and it's further.
You're not overly worried as to how it's got there and why. The ball speed's the interesting one as well. Well, to be fair, it all is. The ball. So we've actually got more. Because again, this is the misconception: is so I hit that spinny driver, I'm losing distance. I've gone 400 RPM more spin, added 2 degrees of loft, 2 things which you tell the kind of average club golfer you're going to add to your driver, and you think you're going to lose them yardage.
Yeah, correct.
And I've actually gained 18 yards of carry. Okay.
The way I like to dress that
Sold.
up, because you get a lot of players like yourself that play coastal areas. If you play both winds, right, rather than a crosswind,
Yeah.
and you go into and then downwind. Into wind, if you've got your GT, which is low launching and spinning a little bit lower, money. You're going to go
Yeah.
out and you're going to have a really good score because it's going to cut through the wind. See, when you go downwind and someone's got GTS in that setup,
Yeah.
they're miles past you, because what people don't realise is if your ball is already low with low spin and the wind's hitting it from behind, the wind's
Yeah.
actually knocking it out
Knocking
of the
this-
air.
yeah.
So a little bit more spin and a little bit more launch actually retains and then gains,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
opposed to the other way around. So you have to pick up a really, really good score going into the wind,
Yes.
because you've got to hold on to it on the way down.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've naturally got that, when you hit into wind, you can peg it down and knock it lower.
Yeah.
I'd rather you took the flight off than didn't
Then-
have it in the first
Yeah,
place.
exactly. Yeah, that makes sense.
And if it's more stable and you get more confident and you've got close on occasion, you've got 168.4, I reckon, a bit more energy, playing under pressure,
Get in the gym.
you'll get a little bit more out of it.
Mega.
Yeah,
Awesome.
all good.
Thank you very much.
No, you're welcome. Thanks for coming down.
The new weapon.